Back in 1997, Comedy Central was a fledgling network that was planning on premiering a new animated show titled South Park. It was the brainchild of University of Colorado students Matt Stone and Trey Parker, who had met each other in film class at the university in 1992. Stone at the time was majoring in math, and Parker had a music major, but the pair quickly bonded over similar tastes in music and Monty Python. South Park's origins dated back to two short animated films titled The Spirit of Christmas, which would be produced in 1992 and 1995. It was the second short that became one of the first viral videos on the internet. Initially, the pair were in discussions with Fox Television to expand the short films to a proper network show. Fox at the time was known for airing edgy and cutting-edge shows, but things quickly got sour when executives wanted both Parker and Stone to not include the stool character Mr. Hanky in the program. But the pair refused, and the discussions and negotiations soon fell apart with Fox. They now turned their attention to discussing the show with MTV and Comedy Central. But Parker had some reservations about MTV, telling an interviewer in 2002, "We didn't want to take it to MTV and have it become a kid's show, which is, all MTV really is anymore, Nickelodeon." It would be the president of Comedy Central, Doug Herzik, who gave the show the green light to at least come up with a pilot episode. Parker and Stone would then assemble staff and spend about 3 months working on the pilot, which was titled Cartman Gets a Probe. The problem was that the show almost never made it to television because test audiences hated it, but the internet would be the show's saving grace. Stone would tell Seattle PI, "Oh, it did really bad with women," but also The Spirit of Christmas kept getting more popular. There was this incredible buzz that you couldn't deny if you were a television programmer. For that reason, Trey and I have not tested anything we've ever done since. We don't test any of our television shows, and we don't test our movies. Comedy Central would soon order 6 episodes, with the show premiering in August of 1997. It was ahead of the show's premiere on Comedy Central that the program's creators now needed a theme song. Stone had become a huge fan of Primus back in 1990 when a friend from the Bay Area took him to see the band perform at a concert. It was the following day Stone purchased the group's debut record, Frizzle Fry. Primus, meanwhile, had already been around for over a decade, having formed in 1984. They had this really unique sound and were often labeled as funk metal. It was their debut record that made splashes in underground circles, and it was independently released, and it soon caught the attention of major labels. Primus would end up inking a deal with Interscope, who put out their subsequent album 1991's Sailing the Seas of Cheese, which would go on to become platinum, thanks to the huge success of the single Jerry Was a Race Car Driver. The band's subsequent releases were also successful. Stone and Parker would end up looking up the group's management company in the phone book. They'd send them a letter along with a copy of The Spirit of Christmas, and the letter would indicate that the show's budget for the theme was a whopping $74. Pretty tough sell. But Primus agreed to do the theme anyways. It was ahead of writing the song the band talked with the show's creators to kind of get a sense of what the show was going to be about. They were told it was about kids in a small town where there's basically nothing to do. Frontman and bassist Les Claypool would tell The Hollywood Reporter what came next. They were a couple of college kids who were fans of the band, and I guess they approached me to do the theme song. At the time, Primus had just gotten a new drummer, so I said, let's have Primus do it. We had watched their Christmas thing that was going around, and we realized these guys were pretty clever, but there was no way in hell that they were going to be able to get something like that on television. More than anything, it was just an excuse for us to go into the studio and start experimenting. But the resulting song didn't impress Comedy Central, who felt that it was too long and it would clock in at about 40 seconds. Claypool would tell The Hollywood Reporter, "If you listen to the outro, that's actually the original song." And they came back to us and said Comedy Central thinks the theme song is too slow and not peppy enough. At that point, we were like, we did this for you guys. We're out on the road. We're too busy to do this right now. We can't just go into a studio and re-record this. Stone and Parker tried to get in touch repeatedly with Primus's management, who told them to basically off and use the song that they'd already recorded. As a last resort, Stone would tell The Hollywood Reporter, so I actually went down to Irvine and went backstage and found Les at this concert, and I was like, you have to record it. I got in his face, and he was like, I'm on tour, I can't. Claypool would, however, make one suggestion to the show's creators. He he suggested they speed up the original song, but there was a problem. Claypool's vocals didn't sound right when the song was sped up, so they had to get him to re-record the vocals. The show's creators would get one of their buddies from high school to go to a Primus show in Colorado with a handheld tape recorder to get the Primus frontman to recut his vocal track. The show's theme sees Claypool singing "Going Down to South Park, Going to Have Myself a Time," using a call and response with the kid characters. Meanwhile, the character Kenny sings a mumbled line that is not suitable to say clearly on TV. But Primus's involvement with the show wouldn't end there. Claypool would appear as a character in the opening credits from season 1 through 4, singing the song. When the characters in South Park moved on to the 4th grade, they had Claypool cut a modified version of the song with more of an electro-funk influence. Primus themselves would also appear in the season 2 episode Chef Aid, playing at a concert to support the chef character. The show would even release a Chef Aid album in 1998, which would feature the theme song in addition to a number of artists who appeared in the episode and some artists who were unrelated to the show. Primus has had a number of their songs also appear in the show over the series' 2-decade-plus run. It was in 2022 the creators of South Park would hold a 25th anniversary concert where Primus showed up and performed the theme with Parker and Stone. It's up on YouTube if you guys want to go check it out. Primus drummer Brain, who had recently joined the band at the time, is listed as a co-writer on the track along with Claypool and guitarist Larry Lalonde. Brain's resume includes artists like Guns N' Roses, Tom Waits, and many others, and he would reveal to an interviewer that of all the songs he's played on, the South Park theme is his biggest source of royalty income. South Park would go on to become one of the biggest shows on Comedy Central, and the channel's president Doug Herzog would tell the New York Times, and I quote, "It put us on the map." That concludes today's video, guys. Thanks for watching. I want to let you guys know a lot of people have requested Primus. I'll be doing more videos on them in the future, but this is just my first video on the band, so let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. And after all these years, are you guys still watching South Park as well? That does it for today's video, guys. Thanks for watching, and as always, if you have suggestions for topics you'd like to see me cover, use the link in the description box below. We'll see you again on Rock and Roll True Stories. Take care.